Welcome to the Sauce and Gravy channel. This is Johnny Mac, the Gravy Guy. In this episode, I'm going to show you a delicious classic Italian recipe. It's not a very difficult recipe. It does take some time, but you know what? It's well worth it. I'm going to show you how to make a homemade ragu. Hey everybody, real quick before we start this recipe, I wanted to let you know that I'm super excited. I'm publishing a sauce and gravy cookbook. It should be out in July. Once it is out, I'll put links in the description sections of the videos as well as on the Sauce and Gravy channel website if you'd like to purchase the book. It'll help keep the channel alive and help you out with those sauces and gravies in the kitchen. Thank you for all of your support, and remember to keep whisking. So let's begin, shall we? Start off with some light prep work. Break out your trusty blade and a board and knock out 1 onion, 1 carrot, and 1 celery stalk, minus the leaves. And I'll put a list of the ingredients that I used in this recipe in the description section below. If you don't feel like cutting up the vegetables, you don't have to. There are various techniques that you can use. You can use a cheese grater to grate up the veggies. You could throw them in a food processor, whatever's easiest for you. That takes care of the prep work, so see, not too bad, right? Snag a large pan, preferably a non-reactive pan. Crank your burner up to medium to high heat and drop in 3 tablespoons or 45 milliliters of olive oil or a neutral oil of your choice. Whenever that oil is hot, drop in your veggies. Cook these guys over medium to high heat until they're translucent and tender. If you're one of those that likes to give them a touch of color, go for it. Now, if you used a food processor or a cheese grater to puree these veggies, this step of the ragu making process will go by a whole lot quicker. That can be a good thing, but if you want to see those veggies and feel the heartiness of this ragu, then chop up the veggies, don't puree them. But if you have kids and you want to hide those veggies, you might want to use that grater or the processor. Whenever those veggies are cooked to perfection, it's time to drop in the meat. 1/2 pound of ground pork and 1/2 pound of ground beef. That's 250 grams apiece. For this recipe, I happen to be using 93% lean ground beef and 80% lean ground pork. If you like to go for a more or less of a fat content, knock yourself out. That's the beauty and the magic of making a homemade sauce. Or is this a gravy? You tell me. There's one thing I do know for certain. It tastes absolutely phenomenal. Cook the meat over medium to high heat, breaking it up into small bite-sized pieces. Cook the meat until it's just about all the way cooked through. You want a touch of red. Once it has a touch of red, then you can move on to the next step to add, well, your red wine. 1 cup or 250 milliliters will work, and if you don't have red wine, you can always substitute with white wine. If you happen to not drink wine at all, then skip this step. Just cook your meat until it's all the way done, and then you can move on to the next step. While you're deglazing, it's a perfect time to grab that flat bottom spatula and scrape the sides and bottom of the pan to release any bits and pieces that are stuck to the bottom of the pan. Those bits and pieces equal flavor, and you want that up into the liquid so it goes into the gravy. Or is it a sauce? Once the wine is cooked off, and whenever you stir with that flat bottom spatula, you don't see any really on the bottom of the pan, you can move on to the next step. It's time to add the tomatoes, and you can go about this a variety of different ways. I happen to be using 1 pound or 28 ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes that have been pureed or more or less just smashed. Any peeled tomato will work, diced or whole, it doesn't matter. You can use your hands to crush them up into a puree, or you can use a blender, whatever works for you. You could even get away with using a canned puree or canned sauce if you wanted, but really, San Marzano's, that's the route to go. For this step of the ragu making process, it's fairly simple. Just mix those tomatoes into the meat and vegetable mixture over medium heat. Once it's mixed in, you can move on to the next step. Round up some stock, and for this, there's a lot of different scenarios that you could do with this as well. You could use chicken stock, veggie stock, beef stock, veal stock. I happen to be using 1/2 cup or 125 milliliters of veal stock. And I know there's people out there whose grandmother did it a certain way, or they're a purist and a traditionalist, and they only do it one way. But if you want to live in a box, that's okay. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to experiment and try new things, go for it. You might find out that there's a lot of different ways to do things that taste great. Whenever the stock has been mixed in, if it's still too thick, add more. So I'm going to add 1/2 cup or 125 milliliters of veal stock more to the mixture. Check it out. This looks a whole lot better. It has more of a liquid type consistency, and that's what you're shooting for. And the reason why you want a lot of liquid is because you're going to reduce this down for 1 hour on medium to low heat, and you're going to cover it as well. But if there wasn't that much liquid, then there's a chance that you could burn this, and you definitely don't want to do that. So check it out. After 30 minutes, this is what it looks like. And it's a good idea to check every once in a while, maybe every 20 to 30 minutes to see if you need to add more liquid or if you need to turn down the burner. But check it out, give it a quick stir, cover it, and let it continue reducing down. So all is well here, everything looks good. I'm not gonna add any more liquid. It looks like it has the perfect amount. It's been 1 hour. You can get a lot accomplished during an hour, and it's not really too terribly long. You could take a nap, you could have a coffee, or you can make some pasta to throw this on. But check it out. This is what it should look like. It's reduced down, it's become thick, but you know what? It's not dry. And that meat, the vegetables, they're tender to the touch. Oh, this is what it should look like. It's always good to give it a taste to see if you need to adjust the seasoning, add some salt or some pepper if necessary. So that's all there is to it. And you know, it is a pretty daggum easy recipe. In an hour, that's not too terribly long to make it. So it's really definitely worth the time. So that, everybody, is how you make a homemade ragu. Thanks for watching the Sauce and Gravy channel. If you found this recipe helpful, be sure to hit that like button. If you'd like to learn new sauce and gravy making tips and techniques, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay tuned to the latest and greatest videos. Thanks again for watching, and remember, it's just you, me, and the sauces. Keep whisking, y'all.